Topgolf. We're coming to you live from the newly opened Topgolf in Durham, located at 4901 Topgolf Way. This is Topgolf's first ever Research Triangle venue. We're happy to be here, even though our golf game from just a couple minutes ago maybe doesn't show it. But we'll be taking in all that Topgolf has to offer. We're talking about the delicious food, the atmosphere, the fun, and of course the golf, which is as we'll probably prove, just fun if you are Tiger Woods level or somebody just picking up the game for the first time. There's points to be scored, there's games to be won, and we're going to be mixing it in throughout the show today. In the meantime, we can finally answer this question.
Yeah.
When will the Canes be playing their first or second round game one game against the Rangers? All week, really, we've been saying, don't ask us. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. We'll have, as of a couple minutes ago, we do know. 4 o'clock on Sunday. 4 o'clock. Dennis he's got something to do, so he's a little upset.
This is very personal. I don't like it. I'm taking this very personal. I'm going to blame the NHL because we're just going to say the NHL doesn't like the small market teams. They're hurting us. I don't like this.
I don't mind 4 o'clock on a Sunday. I think
sure a lot of both.
It's the perfect reason to get out of the heat with your yard work a little early, right? To turn the lawnmower off at 3 o'clock and go, I have to go take care of watching this game. So it starts at 4. It's obviously going to be in New York, MSG. The team's going to practice tomorrow, 11:30 at Invisalign, their practice arena here in Raleigh. Take off, game tomorrow at 4 o'clock. To me, that feels real. Like once you get the time and the date, it's like now it feels real.
Now you know.
It's when your friend comes up and says, "Oh, we're engaged." It's like, "Oh, when's the wedding?" "Oh, I haven't set a date." It's like, "Okay,
all right.
Let
us know."
When they say like June 12th, you have to be there. Oh, okay. This is real, right? So now the second round is real for the Canes, and the Rangers are no small task. Let's start there, right? The Canes need their stars to match the Rangers' stars. And then I think the depth for the Canes can be the difference. Here's what I mean by that. They're built wildly similar, the Rangers and the Canes, which, no surprise, they're two of the best teams in the league. When built similar, it could also just be they're good at everything. Rangers are 7th in the league in goals scored per game during the regular season. Canes are 8th.
Yeah.
They're separated, ready for this, by 1/100th of a goal per game. That's how different they were. Just 1/100th per game, 1/100th of a goal per game, different in the two teams. Carolina's 4th in the NHL in goals allowed per game. The Rangers are 7th, separated by less than 0.2 of a goal per game. So one way is to say they're built similarly. Another way to say is they're really good at scoring goals and preventing the other team from scoring goals, which is how you end up in the situations they're in, being two of the favorites to win the Stanley Cup. If you're looking for a difference, here's what I have. The Rangers depend on their stars, and the Canes depend on their depth a little bit more. That's not to say that the Rangers don't have depth and the Canes don't have stars. It's just their first option is a little different.
Top heavy, as some might say.
Yes, but also don't disrespect the depth.
For sure.
Also don't say the Canes aren't top heavy, because I like their top 4 as much as just about anybody's. So it's really like by percentages, right? It's all relative. The Rangers have 5 guys that total at least 70 points this year. 5 of them. The Canes have 17 guys that have totaled at least 20 points. The Canes have 1 guy that totaled 70 plus.
Yeah.
That being Sebastian Aho. So Rangers 5 70 plus point scorers, Canes 1. Canes 17 20 plus point scorers, Rangers have 12. So it's a little bit of I guess top heavy is one way to describe it. The Rangers depend on their core to be much more productive. Meanwhile, the Canes, their top guys are having an off day. They feel much better about their depth. That's where it comes from. That's the difference. And I mean, you have 2 goalies that are obviously extremely talented. You have well put together rosters. You have good cultures. You have coaches that they trust. Like, you have a lot that they do similarly. Except for, I think, like, if you're, game planning against them, if you're the Canes, you want to put a little bit more attention on the handful of guys, the Panarins, the handful of guys that do most of the production for the Rangers. Meanwhile, if you are the Rangers on the defensive end, you don't necessarily want to do that to the Canes because they spread out their production a bunch more. I would add that you probably would have had based on his production since he was traded to the Canes, Gensel was on pace to be one of those guys. So you could say they have two. And if Jarvis plays how he's playing in the postseason and the regular season, he might be a 70-plus point guy. He might be that next year, by the way.
It's close to it this season.
So again, it's shades of gray here, but that's the difference I'm looking at. Ryan Lindgren, a member of the Rangers, spoke to the media. He was asked, what are the keys to playing Carolina? Here's what he came up with.
I mean, they play a fast game. They're in your face. Their D are up on us. So, it's all about us and the way we play. And, we need to get pucks out. We need to support each other out there and play physical. And should be a really good series.
The Canes play fast and they get in your face. I grew up playing football, played football in college. There are certain things that when the other team says it about your team, your head coach just beams a little bit.
Yeah.
When the other team's saying like, hey, when you play them, it's going to be a physical battle. They're gonna, every down, every quarter, they're going to be physical. They're going to be tough to bring down. They're going to tackle. You see your head coach in the corner, like, that's our reputation.
Huh.
You darn right, that's our reputation. That's one of those that you're going to get from Rod, right? When the other team is saying they're in your face, they move fast, you have to clear the puck, they'll take advantage of your mistakes. That's Rod Brind'amour sitting back and saying, you're darn right. That's our reputation, well earned.
Yeah,
right?
Well, they've earned that for several years now.
Well earned. And there's obviously parts of the Rangers that are built into their culture that the Canes know. I think this is a execution series, right? Both teams have a certain ceiling that is pretty darn high. Who gets closest to that most often, right? Who executes at the highest level? You know what your reputation is. You know what Panarin's reputation is. You know what Aho's reputation is. You know what Igor's reputation is. You know what Freddie's reputation is. Like, everybody is aware of the top quality hockey that can be played. Which team reaches that level and stays there for the most, periods, most games, heck, most minutes where you're playing up there could be the difference.
And Rod Brind'amour, he said it, and you'll hear other coaches say it's just about who gets to their game first, like their style of play and what they want to do. Whoever gets to that first and is able to sustain it is going to have the advantage because the other team's going to start chasing you. And that's the position you don't want to be. You don't want to be chasing the game, chasing the puck, whatever it is. You don't want to be in that position. So whoever is able to establish their game first, that gives you the edge. But it's also it's not only just for the series, but it's game to game, but it's period to period. It really is.
A lot of coaches call it dictating tempo.
Yeah.
Like, you want to be the one choosing how much the other team is running. Obviously, you want to move the puck horizontally to get everybody a little bit more exhausted. And you have to think in series. I talk about this all the time. I talked about it a lot in the first series. Thinking about it game to game is how I believe the players should think. Coaches can think about it as far as a series goes, and the chess game within the chess game and adjustments. And we'll talk about this a little bit later on, but how awesome is it to watch a chess game between Rod Brind'amour and his old coach, right? Peter Laviolette. It's going to be, they're going to feel like they know the inside of each other's brain because they've obviously have a history together, and who can surprise the other is going to come down to part of the question, or part of the final outcome in this one, right? Rod probably feels like he's heard everything that Peter's going to tell his guys. Peter probably feels like he knows everything that's in Rod's instincts. Who can surprise the other is going to be part of this.